Have you ever thought about traveling the world in less than a day? Or even thought about it? Well, today we are going to take you on that journey.
Today we're going to be talking about a couple of different countries, exotic animals, spooky traditions, really awesome landmarks, and tasty food. And speaking of food, my culture relies heavily on food. And believe it or not, that culture is England, and a lot of people laugh at English food, but I'm going to kind of take you through a little bit of a different outlook on it. So, starting off with England, I want to take you on a trip to Yorkshire, England. Now, Yorkshire is it's like a county, so it's a little bit different there in England. So it would be like Brevard County, that would be Yorkshire County, except for it's massive. It's much, much bigger. And civil parishes are like towns, like Rockledge or Cocoa would be Knaresborough or Wakefield. So this is a picture of Knaresborough. Knaresborough is in North Yorkshire, and it's an old historic marketplace. They have tons of tourists there each year, and especially for their festival, which is the annual bed races, where they all make little beds and they run through them, like run in the beds, like as in a race. It's really, really fun. There's like thousands of people that attend it each year. This town dates back to 1100, so it's a really vast history. Whereas in America, you get it like 1700s. You know, you get back in England back to like 600. It's really awesome. So this is kind of like the gloomy feel that everybody's familiar with in England. That's the York Minster. It's the second biggest Gothic cathedral in Northern Europe. I've been there before, and it's amazing. It's very spiritual. It's gigantic. It'll take you all day to go through it. You can go down into the basement and see the original cobblestones of when the Romans first started building the church. It's in the capital of Yorkshire, which is York. And it was built in 627, was the first like original wood bearings that they started building, and it was for the king of Northumbria, which was how England was put together originally. It was Scotland, England, all that good stuff. Now that's Whitby. It's a very beautiful town. It's a seaside port. It's one of the first fishing markets established in England off the coast. Captain James Cook actually learned his sea trade hand here. So he was learning how to fish and sail and all that, and he's one of the most famous captains in the world. And an interesting little side note, Dracula actually, Bram Stoker's novel, he wrote it where Dracula took place in Transylvania, and then he moved to Whitby to find new blood. So when I went to England with my family, we went to Whitby, and I was a little kid, and my parents would tell me that Dracula was there. It was very terrifying. I was like 7. That States, it's a really beautiful fishing port. Now, I feel like when people think of England, they don't think of this. They think of like rain and London, and they don't think about all the beauty. When the tide goes out, these fishing boats just sit on the ground. There's nothing there. And then when it comes back up, the fishing boats rise up again. This is one of the largest tourist destinations inside Yorkshire's National Moors Park. Moors Park the moors are like hills, like little rolling hills, and the Yorkshire Moors Park has like the largest wildflowers in all of England, or largest fields of wildflowers. They're called, I think the flower's called a heather, and they're just rolling fields, and this is a town inside of there. All right, now those are the Shambles. I've been there too, and that's in York as well. And when you walk down the streets, you can like touch both sides of like the buildings. It's so tiny. It's like a little Harry Potter alleyway, it looks like. And it's called the Shambles because they used to butcher. There's about 25 butcher shops. They used to have hooks, and they would just hang the animal on the hook and slaughter it, and then they would take like the innards and throw it in the street, and the innards would like run down. Well, they don't do that anymore. It's kind of gross, but there's laws against that now. But they have like bookstores and bakeries and souvenir shops and little tourist attractions where you can go and experience life as like one of the first settlers. It's really, really awesome. Now that's Huddersfield. That's in one of the biggest towns in Yorkshire, and it just goes to show you that there is so much beauty in England. It's one of the largest market towns in Yorkshire and one of the largest towns in the United Kingdom. Now this is just on the outskirts of it, and the sun is setting there. Those are going to be like, these are the moors here, like the hills that roll endlessly. But despite all the beauty, my favorite part about England is the food. So they have a Malton Food Lovers Festival. Malton is going to be in the north of Yorkshire, which Yorkshire is in the north of England. And in Roman times, Malton was one of Rome's most important settlements in the north of England. In 1692, they began horse racing, and now they're very famous for horse racing there in England, in Malton as well. Charles Dickens actually started based his Christmas Carol novel, Scrooge's Office, was in Walton. So there's a lot of history behind it. So it started bringing people there, and they were very interested in the town. Well, all this is a market. All of the produce is as fresh as you can get. There's artisanal cheeses from around the world that you can't necessarily get anywhere else because they have cows that they breed there that you can't really find anywhere else. They have sheep, they have different poultry. So it's a really interesting array of fresh food, the best that England has to offer. This is just a little sample of that. That's 19. That's a restaurant in York and Walton, and they use all locally sourced seasonal ingredients, and they take produce and they take things that are like the freshest in season and use them, and they come up with these crazy dishes that represent their town and their culture and what they're capable of doing, which I find really, really awesome. He's so cute. That's a Highland cow. But the Food Fest of the North is from the 23rd to the 24th of May. So it's only on a weekend, and it's a couple of days. But it is a celebration of Yorkshire's very best food. One of the festival attendees, I have a quote here, says that Malton has a magic of all its own. Much of it comes from the streets of this fine, handsome, and historic town with real heart and soul, but it's the town from producers to visitors to the brass band that makes this festival unique. It's one of the best food festivals in the country. So that's becoming like a really popular, foodies from all around the world. I consider myself a foodie. I love to try different foods, and I love what food can do. It's an art, and it definitely goes to show in England. This is like I said, a Highland cow, and they're becoming very rare. But what they're doing is they're taking rare meats and they're eating them, which sounds bad, but it's not, because they're breeding them. So they're breeding the cows more and more. They're breeding the sheep. They're breeding the goats, and it's creating the species increase. So this meat is different from regular beef because it has thicker hair. So it doesn't need fat. So it's a leaner beef. So it's like a marbly, like melt in your mouth like butter steak. So that's kind of my culture. I hope you enjoyed it, and I want you to learn about someone else's, and pass it over to Monique.
Now, like Jansen said, we're going to be talking about my culture. I am Haitian. Now, when most people think about Haiti, they don't think about the beauty. They think about the poverty, they think about the earthquakes and all the destruction that happened in 2010. No one really realizes that Haiti has beautiful mountains that you can climb all the time, or that even the people, they don't know that Haiti has beautiful culture in dancing, or that they can come up with amazing sounds that you really don't know of because it's on an island. But something that I've always wanted to do, if I ever do go to Haiti, is visit the Museum of Haitian History. Now, it's in Creole, which is their language. Creole is a combination of both French and a little bit of Spanish. The museum has the history from the beginning of Haiti. So it'll have the French Revolution that they had to the most recent devastation, which was their 2010 earthquake. Haiti has a lot of beauty that no one even knows about. But something that most people know about Haiti but are terrified of, which I think is kind of interesting, is the voodoo. Now, as you can see, these are some of the priestess and priests of Haitian voodoo. Now, Haitian voodoo is an ancestral magic, okay? So what that means is that their magic comes from their deceased relatives. So like they can call on people from like 300 years ago that died to use their black magic or white magic. Now, most people believe that voodoo, people who practice voodoo are Satan worshippers. Now, that's not true. 90% of the people who practice voodoo are actually Catholic, and 10% are Protestant, which I found interesting. And my grandmother's Catholic, and she practiced voodoo, so I was like, that doesn't make sense. But now I know why. Voodoo isn't actually a religion, which most people believe it is. Voodoo is actually more of I would just say it's a practice. Now, there's a lot of different things that people can do within voodoo. As you can see, this little voodoo doll down here in the corner. What they normally do with voodoo dolls is they'll make it. They have to put certain herbs and content within it. Some of it's cotton, some of it's just like sage, and then they have to get like a piece of hair or a broken nail or some sweat from them and put it on the voodoo doll, so that way when they do use it, it has a link or a connection back to the person. Now, my grandmother did this to my mom, which was kind of scary. My mom was like, I saw a voodoo doll and it had my hair on it. I was like, I don't think it was your hair, Mom. I don't think it was. She was like, no, because she offered to do my hair, and now I'm getting headaches all the time. So voodoo dolls, I don't know how much I believe in them, but my mom says they work. So, but there's also many other ways that they can practice. So voodoo dolls is one way. Another way is they use these little symbols that you see up at the top. This symbol right here is a V de Ferguson, I think it's called. But anyways, it's a symbol of love. So what you would do with this is like, people can go to, like, let's say if I had a massive crush on Tim, but he didn't feel the same. I could go and put the symbol on his notebook. Or if he had a car, I could put the symbol on his car. Anything that Tim owns, I can put this symbol on. And then he would fall in love with me. It would be great. Actually, I would never do that. It's kind of creepy. It's obsessive. But they also have other symbols that they can use. There's symbols to help bring back your past relatives. There are symbols that you can use to help your finances. There are symbols that you can use to just ward off demons. Another thing that they have are chants, rhythms, and rituals. So Giselle actually was helping me research this at the beginning. And we found a book that actually had everything you needed to perform a love ritual, which was kind of creepy. Because it was like, oh, you can use this type, but if you don't have this, you can use this because it works just as well. And then you can use an knockoff of this. And then once you finish all that, you can come back and you can do this dance, and then you're, boom, in love. The book tells you exactly what you can do, which I found kind of creepy, because people actually have researched it and done it. So you can use your chants, and then chants are usually just words or like a rhythm and a rhyme put together that they just say. And some of them are days long, where you would have to say it for 7 days straight, and then for each day you will see a different change in whatever chant or ritual that you're doing. So it's really interesting. Now, while voodoo is the main thing that I wanted to focus on, something else you guys should know about Haiti is while there is many different cultures and there's many different places that that have been influenced, there's no place that's been so widespread of influences. Haiti is not only, it wasn't only predominantly French before the revolution. It's also surrounded by many different cultures that people find to be beautiful. It's off of the coast of Florida, so it's pretty close to us. And then the neighboring places are Colombia, Dominican Republic, as well as Puerto Rico. So they have a lot of Hispanic culture in the background. I remember growing up and being able to hang around my Haitian part of the family, and they'll be listening to Caribbean music, and they'll have all this different stuff, and I'm like, well, this isn't Haitian. They're like, do you not understand what Haiti is? We're a melting pot. They really are, because they take each culture and they actually take time to understand it. So, as I said, Puerto Rico is real close, so here's Tim to talk about it.
Like she said, we are cousins of Haiti. We are all in the Atlantic Ocean, and I chose to be Puerto Rico because that was my heritage, and that's where I'm from. This is Puerto Rico. The total population is 3,618,000 people and 86. There are the capital of Puerto Rico is San Juan, and that houses 2,700,000 in just that city, and it is the largest city in Puerto Rico. Spanish and English are the official languages of Puerto Rico, and even though Spanish is more commonly used in this state. The education, as of 2013, there are 1,460 public schools for children to attend to school, and there are 764 private schools that they may attend. According to the 2010 census, around 92% will people in Puerto Rico can adequately speak, write, and read English, and they can do simple mathematic arithmetic. And according to statistics, around 60% of them will receive a high school diploma, and only 18% of the population will graduate with a bachelor's degree or higher. Even though Spanish is taught, as a primary language in schools, English is also taught as a secondary language. And over half of the people entering into college will never graduate. It's a sad fact, but it is true. And only 41% enrolled in a 4-year public school will graduate with a bachelor's degree or higher, and only 33% enrolled in private colleges will receive that degree. As for foods, we have a lot of different foods, and here are some of the common foods consumed in Puerto Rico. We have bacalaos, which is a Spanish codfish, and it is a really salty fish that they use. They cut it up and fry it in a batter, deep fry it, and it's a very good little treat. We have empanadas. It's a beef turnover. You can either use beef, conch, lobster, or crab, and as a substitute for the beef, and those are also deep fried. Here we have sapón de pollo con arroz, which is chicken soup with rice and added into it. And that's one of the main dishes that they have for lunch, and that they have for certain varieties. And as for dinner, they have carne guisada puertorriqueña, which is a Puerto Rican beef stew. And we also have pernil, which is served, it's a pork shoulder that is served with rice and black beans, and it's a very popular dinner plate in Puerto Rico. As for desserts, we have flan, which is a creamy custard with a sugary base, and it is a very common dessert in Puerto Rico. They have, since coconut is used in abundance in Puerto Rico and is found in abundance, they use a lot of coconut to make other sweet treats, and they can make coconut flan, they can make a bunch of other coconut squares, coconut rice, and they have many uses for the coconut. And also, rum is a very popular brand of drink in Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico produces around 80% of the rum consumed in America today, and a lot of the other famous drinks are Don Q, which is another type of rum, and it is a darker brown rum. Modelo is one of the most commonly drink here in Puerto Rico. It is called cerveza. A few of the hot attractions are Iglesia Puerta Coeli is located in San German, and it is one of the oldest churches. It was built in 1606, and they only hold masses 3 times a year, but it is open all year round to any visitors that would like to travel and visit. The Observatorio de Arecibo is a 25-acre dish that they use for a lot of research. It is a radio telescope. They use it for research into quasars and a bunch of stars. And they also use it for SETI, which is the search for extraterrestrial intelligence. And the San Juan Historic Site, which is a, it contains Castillo San Felipe de Moro, Castillo San Cristobal, the San Juan Gate, and Fort San Juan de la Cruz. It's a fort that they built a long time ago when the Spaniards came over, and the Spaniards spent more than 250 years protecting this, controlling the Caribbean travel. And the San Miguel Natural Reserve is a conservation area of Puerto Rico where you can visit, you can swim, fish, and you can just kind of hike through the natural scenery and the beauty and see the beauty of the ocean. It is 25 miles from San Juan, and in 1992 there was a large oil spill that affected a lot of the coast of Puerto Rico. And since then, in 1992, that's when the oil spill happened. And in 2007, they added about 117 acres towards the conservation to increase it. Recently, they added another 255 acres total, so it totals of 529 acres, and it is the largest nesting ground for sea turtles and other kind of natural creatures of the Puerto Rico. And Bahia Mosquito is a bay in another island close to Puerto Rico. It's still Puerto Rico, but it's right off the coast, and it is known as bioluminescent bay. It is filled with a species of bacteria known as phosphorescent dinoflagellate, which makes the water glow. And a lot of the Puerto Ricans ask people to try to do kayak tours, and there are a lot of tours available. They don't want you to use motorboats because the pollution causes a lot of damage to this bacteria, and it decreases the effect of the glow. And you want more scenery of Puerto Rico than to ruin the natural habitat. And Puerto Rico has a lot of beaches and beautiful scenery, and it's a very nice place to visit. And I would like to go there sometime. I have not been there yet, but I would like to take time and visit my heritage. And that was some of the things of Puerto Rico, and I'm going to leave off with Giselle.
Well, just like the beaches are beautiful in Puerto Rico, Brazil is also known for its red sand. This is a beach in Brazil. It's called the Forno Beach, and mostly people visit there to see the red sand. This is one of the main attractions. They also love to just sit on the beach, relax, also for just having a plain beer in Brazil, which is what they mostly do. Brazil is the 5th largest country in South and Latin America. It's mostly known for the culture. The people are so loving, they're so friendly. The minute you go to Brazil, you're going to feel like the instant loving. Their main thing to do when they see each other, like if I were to see Jansen in the street, we'd be like, hey! First thing we do is we're going to hug and we're going to kiss. It's just the culture of Brazil in itself. They're very friendly, very tactile, very loving people. Another thing that they love to do, they love to barbecue. I don't know if you guys have ever had this. This is called a picancha. Oh, it's so yummy. They are pretty much stacked in meat. You can have beef, you can have shrimp, you can have just a large steak, and they grill it, and they don't put anything but salt and pepper. It's the coal that they have. It gives it its own little spicy flavor. It's really delicious. One of the main attractions that people go to when they go to Brazil is to see the Christ of the Redeemer. This is the largest Jesus statue in the country, in the world, actually. So, I mean, you can see, like, just in retrospect, the people here, they just look so tiny. You can even see it from all the way over there. I mean, it's pretty crazy. It's pretty crazy how big that statue really is. The religion in Brazil itself is consistent. 80% of the people are Catholics. So that's another reason why I love Brazil, is because all of them are like, not only are they loving, but they're such like Jesus people. I love Jesus people, you know? Like, not only am I going to feel love, I'm going to feel the love of God. Like, you know, what else is better than that? Another reason why I actually want to take you guys to Brazil today is to see the exotic animals. Now, the Amazon rainforest is right in Brazil, so you can only imagine the crazy stuff that people in Brazil are going to see. Now, one of the guys are sloths. They're so like ugly but so cute. You can't help but just like, you know, it's like they're so cute but ugly at the same time. They're mostly known for just hanging on branches. That's really what they do. They actually only come to the ground once a week to just take a poop. So if you see like a sloth on the street walking around, chances are he just finished taking a poop and he's going right back up to the street. It's disgusting, but you know, it's a sloth, so that's what they do. Another thing is the macaws. They're so beautiful. They have bright, vibrant colors. They mate for life with their lover. They groom each other. They feed each other. I mean, they're pretty much inseparable. There are 17 species of the macaws, and they're actually becoming endangered in Brazil. So that being said, people actually do steal them, to trap them illegally, to breed them, and sell them to other people. So the whole movie about Rio is actually true. It's about two birds. It's a boy and a girl bird, and they're like they fall in love, but there's people actually going after them to capture them, to breed and sell them. So the movie actually gives us an insight on how it really is in Brazil with the whole birds. Another animal is the poison dart frog. Now this is one of the animals that you don't want to be near if you go to Brazil. They have the power to kill 2,000 mice in one shot. So imagine what that's going to do to us. I'm pretty sure I'm like 100 pounds, he'll knock me out in a quick second. So if you see a poison dart frog, run the other way. They're very beautiful, but they're beautiful from afar. Another animal is my favorite, the monkey. I love monkeys. This is a capuchin monkey. They're mostly known for their street entertainment. They're pretty cute, like you see in many countries. They're like with their little funny hats, usually juggling around, doing all that crazy stuff. They're very clever. They're so easy to train that one of my favorite things is not only are they funny, but they're compassionate animals. Now here you see a capuchin monkey helping a quadriplegic man putting a CD to listen to music. What quadriplegic means is he can't move his arms, he can't move his legs, he's pretty much in a vegetable state. So they train the monkeys in developed countries to help the man and to help them do things that they can't do in a regular today-based life. I mean, the reason why I love Brazil is because not only are the people passionate, but so are their freaking animals. Like, how awesome is that, you know? All in all, that's why I love Brazil. So, in a matter of 30 minutes or less, Monique, Jansen, Tim, and I were able to travel to England, Haiti, Puerto Rico, and Brazil. My favorite was England. I loved seeing the little cute cow with the hair. It was adorable. I loved it. I'm a huge animal lover. What was your favorite, Monique?
My favorite had to be the monkey on the dog. It just had to be. No matter whether you want to go to Brazil to see a monkey on a dog, or a sloth taking a poo, or you want to go to Puerto Rico to drink a whole bunch of rum, or you want to go to England to eat, or you want to go to Haiti so you can fall in love. No big deal. Whichever you want to do, you should travel like we did. This is our first step to planning to where we want to go, whether we've been there or whether we want to go back. We're going to get here, and we're glad we took you guys with us.
Thank you for listening.
Thank you.